Okay, so we were around here yesterday. And what we were saying yesterday is that following the impulsive move that broke down that demand zone at the 0.98600 level. So remember, we had the structure figured out yesterday. Let me delete all this. Let me have a clean chart. So we had the breakdown of that demand zone, which has been holding buying pressure since the beginning of the week. So we saw the breakdown of the structure, retest of that structure to signal that the sellers are very strong in this market. So we saw the breakdown of that structure, and price lines exactly up with that bearish trend line we identified at the beginning of the week. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So look at what we have here on the bearish trend line. So we had this bearish trend line figure out, and it has been holding price action since the later part of last week trading session. As you can see here, though we had a breakout, price came right back down. Then we had another breakout, price came right down, and since then price has been respecting that bearish trend line. So we have a trend line running already to guide our trading activities for today. And if we look at the structure here, we saw that we were expecting that after the breakdown of the 0.98100 level yesterday, we said, let's wait and see if the market is going to be giving us a second chance in the form of either a retest of the 0.98100 level or probably the retest of the bearish trend line, after which we look out for selling pressures on lower time frame to join the decline to the downside. And since yesterday, in fact, the last 24 hours, we have been waiting to add more position to the EURUSD that we took advantage of a couple of days ago. So at this point in time, we're at a very critical level in the market. As you can see, price is right under the bearish trend line. In fact, we have been witnessing a consolidation phase around this area, giving us a clue of how there is an indecision in this market, and probably participants are waiting for a catalyst that will be driving price action in the New York session today. And like I stated at the beginning of the session, we have a major event coming up today in the form of the NFP. And obviously, this is one of the events that participants are waiting for in the market today. So as a result of that, we can see the reflection on the chart in the form of an indecision right here. So the next thing I did here is to identify this bullish trend line after connecting the series of higher lows here. So I will be calling this a temporary bullish trend line in the meantime, which could probably be driving price to the upside. We could have a situation here. I have two possible scenarios that could happen here. The first scenario is a possible breakout of that trend line. The bullish trend line might break out of that structure in such a way that we have a bullish signal, after which a retest of structure will probably send price right back into the 0.98800 level. And if we look left, we can see how that level has been a major determinant of price action in the past. So we saw how that level has been a demand niche for participants in the past. At least in the course of this trading week, we saw how that level has been a demand zone before we witnessed the breakdown retest of that structure after the FOMC. And from a technical standpoint, whenever we have a breakdown of a structure, there is a likelihood that price might come back to do a sharp rejection of the 0.98800 level before we start seeing a trend continuation to the downside. So that is one scenario we want to be looking forward to during the New York session today. And remember, the NFP is always a very volatile driven event, and we could have a sharp move that might move right into that area, do a sharp rejection before we start seeing something going to the downside. That's an obvious possibility we also need to take into consideration while planning for the EURUSD today. Then the other scenario is a situation where we might be seeing price respecting that bearish trend line that has been guiding price action since the beginning of the week, in such a way that we have price break down the 0.97650 level. So, and if we look at the structure here, we can see that that breakdown there lines exactly up with that temporary bullish trend line we have here. So we want to be seeing that as a signal that we want to be going bearish. Then if that happens, we wait for a retest to structure now a lower time frame, after which we look out for selling pressure right below that level to join the trend continuation to the downside. So these are the scenarios we want to be looking forward to on the XAU, on the Euro USD. So let's see how this is going to play out during the New York session as we get ready for the NFP in a couple of hours from now. So that is what I will be looking forward to. So in order to make our job easier, I have two parameters that will be guiding our action. The first one is this bullish trend line, which might likely send price to the 0.9800 level. So if you are a scalper, you want to take advantage of a breakout, retest of that bearish trend line, retest the bullish trend line to send price up there. This is a counter trend trade. So if you are not a counter trend trader, you are not a scalper, you are not comfortable taking this kind of position, well, I'll be suggesting that if a breakout of that level happens, you want to be patient enough to see how price is going to be relating to the 0.9800 level. So if price comes within that area and we start seeing selling pressure, we want to join the decline to the downside from that level. Then the other scenario is a breakdown, retest of the 0.97650. Then we want to be joining the decline to the downside from there. So this is what we are looking forward to on the Euro USD. So if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop in your inquiries in the comment section of this video. All right, let's see. 170, good morning, how are you doing today? All right, so in the absence of no questions, let's move on to the next pair. If you still have questions, drop it in the comment section. I'll be taking some time to look at what is happening in the comment section to respond to your inquiries if there is any.